All right, let's see if this is working. This is my third attempt. Hey, there we are. Okay, so we're actually live. That's fantastic. That's what I want to see. I did some work last week to try to get ready for our summer video series, and I thought I'd be so smart and schedule all these summer broadcasts. And there's something magical in, I don't understand all of it, but stream keys and stream URLs, and there were duplicate ones. So it wouldn't let me stream this video to you. Kept wanting to pop me into one of my like summer ones. Like, that's not going to work. So I think we're good. I think we're live. Everything should be okay. I'm also having issues with my webcam that's hooked up to my computer, you guys. I don't know. I'm going to blame like the solar flares and things that were happening. Maybe that's what's causing. Anybody see the aurora borealis this weekend? I tried. I went on a little solo hunt Friday night. I did not. It was not successful, but I saw some great pictures. So I know some people saw it. It looked pretty awesome. We're going to talk about everything that the kids are learning in classes this week. It is the third week of May, you guys. We are just about done, like with our whole school year. It's amazing how fast it goes. So this is the second to the last video that you'll get from me in your inbox this year. We won't start these back up again until fall. But like I said, there is a summer video series that we'll kind of chat about maybe here at the end, just so that you've got some inside knowledge. I'm not sure if the Facebook post went live yet this morning. I can't remember when I scheduled it. So all of our classes meet this week. Nobody has any funky off days, but there are some of you that this is your last week, and I will make sure to note those when we get to the individual sections. As a reminder, you can always find your schedule inside your Sawyer account. And if you don't know how to find that, you can go to our website for current students, or you can send me a message. So our preschool classes, see the note right here, Thursday and Friday classes, this is your last week. So you're ahead because the month actually started on a Wednesday. So our Thursday and Friday classes are actually doing their week 3 lesson this week. It's their last week. And then they are done until the fall. So Mondays and Tuesday classes, you guys are going to be reading Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, which is what our Thursday and Friday kids did last week. This is where we warm up a rock in the oven and we make dangerous art. We melt crayons over the top of it and then cover it in glitter. We make our own magic pebble. We also painted some of those pigeon sculptures. So I did bring some pigeons. Now, maybe if you're in Thursday and Friday, your kids might have taken their pigeons home. Some of them stayed here. So this is one that has been at least its first coat of paint on it. How cute those are. His little googly eye and his tail feathers. But some of them stay here and they'll live in the closet for one more week, just in case kids want to put another coat of paint on them. Here's one that I grabbed. This is from, I think, a Tuesday class in Liberty. So it has not been painted because, you know, they've only had their 1 week to build. And so now it's dry. And so when they come tomorrow, they can go ahead and put a coat of paint on them. So that's what those pigeons look like. So they'll take their pigeon sculpture home in their last class for Thursday and Friday. This week, Thursday and Friday classes, you guys are reading This Is Not My Hat, which is a John Clausen book, which is amazing and a lot of dry humor. It also has fish in it, which is one of my favorite themes for making art. We're going to make little fish sculptures out of polymer clay, and then we'll make hats out of paper. Multimedia classes. So I brought a whole bunch of examples today, you guys. Bear with me while I get my table set. So K-1, 2nd, 3rd, and K-3 classes are making sculptures. They can be freestanding sculptures. They can be hanging sculptures. And they are sculptures inspired by the art of Alexander Calder. This month, we're very free-flowing with the creation process. We kind of just put the materials out. It's the last class or last month of the year. And we were like, make whatever you are inspired to make based on this. And so I thought I'd show you some of the work in progress. It is metal based. And so if you've ever seen the art of Alexander Calder, he makes these like mobiles that have a lot of pieces, almost like petals, that are suspended. And so using the metal tooling, oh, that's green. Of course it's green. Here we go. Let me pull one that isn't green. Using the tooling foil, our kids have made little petals is not the right word, because even though this is a tulip, not all of them are floral inspired, but But you see it's got texture, it's got color, it's on both sides because that's the principle of sculpture, is that it has to be viewed in the round. This one here is a lightning bolt. And these are hole punched, and so they can hang from whatever aperture that they make. And so this one, this is what this artist is currently working on. You see, they've got some wire work happening, a lot of problem solving that has to happen to get that to hook together, a lot of fine motor skills. We've got a clay base to help them get a little bit of weight. Some of our kids chose to make, I've got another one over here, so I'm going to carefully put this one back. Some of our kids chose to make sculptures that have a clay base that stand up. Some of them chose to make hanging sculptures like a mobile. So I didn't bring any of those because those were in the class cubbies, and these guys were just sitting out, so they were really easy to grab. I'm going to see if I can get this one out of the bag because it's sealed up so the clay stays wet. But you can see we've got this kind of, I love how kinetic they are, that they move in the breeze or in the air. They also, a lot of them make sound because of the movement in the metal, almost like a wind chime. So a lot of great stuff going on, a lot of details in the little metal medallions or charms that are hanging, a lot of wire work and problem solving that has to happen. If you saw some pictures on social media, you'll notice that the kids do wear safety goggles when working with wire. That's one of the things that we stress is when they've got a 36-inch piece of wire they're trying to like bend and wield, and it's important that not only are they wearing goggles, but so are their neighbors, because you just never know where the end of that wire might end up. So we do wear safety goggles in these classes, not so much for the foil, but for the wire work. A lot of good things happening in K-1, 2nd, 3rd, and K-3 classes. These guys will have 2 more class periods to work. A lot of them are probably going to finish this week, which is, week 3. A lot of them are going to be done this week. They're going to be like, I'm good. I'm happy with it. They might take it home. They might hold on to it just for a critique and just in case they want to do something else. Next week, the teachers are planning, kind of just a like finish your project celebration kind of thing. So there should be some stations out next week too, kind of as an end of the year party, for lack of a better term. I'm gonna try to switch my screen here. Come on. My mouse wasn't working today, you guys. And I'm a separate mouse kind of person. I don't do a touchpad, but it wasn't working. All the technology problems. All right, so my 4th and 5th grade in homeschool, second to the last class for you guys as well. Their subject matter for the metals is beetles or bugs. We looked at pictures of beetles. We talked about how to stylize them. We looked at some of our pattern sheets from November, which we did when we talked about Zentangling and patterning. We got some really great bug drawings happening here, trying to get them to pop out. Now, I don't know for these artists if they will choose the silver side or the copper side. Unlike our Calder sculptures, these guys will be mounted in 2 dimensions. So we're going to cut them out. We're going to color them. We're going to add wire details, and then they get mounted on black paper and put into a black mat, kind of like a bug collection. Yeah. So, but there's some good stuff happening here in all of our little bugs. Lots of great texture. These guys are gonna finish a tooling. This class is actually maybe a little bit behind where some of the other classes were. Not behind for the month, but just behind where a lot of the other stuff in the cubby was. But so they're pretty much done with their embossing, and then they'll cut out. Some of them might have a few more like details to get it to like pop out. But these guys should be done, and then they'll cut out their bugs. This week in class, they're going to start adding their color. So they'll have options on whether they do that with the Sharpie markers or whether they paint them with alcohol inks. Totally up to the kids and the instructors on what they choose. Keep in mind, neither of those things are washable, and especially the alcohol inks, it's like liquid Sharpies, you guys. So wear your old clothes to class this week, just in case, okay? They'll get them colored this week. They might also get them with the wire work started and get them mounted. Some of the classes have been really fast with this project. And so if they're rolling right along, we may just have them do as much as they want and go ahead and finish this week. And then in the fourth week, we can just do stations and fun stuff. Trying to get my mouse to work. There we go. Maybe. No. Oh, that went too far. I do not like touchpads. Okay, I got it. 6th, 7th, and 8th through 12th are making the metal mandalas. So last week, let me see if I can find a good example here. Last week, they made their design. Remember, the first week they practiced tooling just so they could kind of learn, and then they made their design. So we have circles that are the size that their mandalas are going to be. They drew out what repeating design is going to go on their metals, and then they've been working on tracing that onto the metal foils. I'm going to see if I can pull this out really carefully for them. Come on. Oh my goodness. It's in a Ziploc, and because that's how we organize everything around here. There we go. All right, so this is the tooling foil, and you can see this artist has started to transfer their pattern and design onto their mandala. It's going to go all the way around. After it's transferred, because that's just like an outline, then they have to work on the embossing. So what's going to pop out? What's going to go in? Where are the extra patterns and details going to go? So that one's really great. I'm just going to set it off to the side. I'll get it back into the bag when you're not here. I'm going to show you one more because I brought two, so I'm going to go show you two. That one there was more representational, kind of a beach scene. This one has kind of some like more organic or geometric shapes on it. They're also a little bit further in the transfer process. Again, it will go all the way around as the repeating design, and then they'll cut real close around the edges. So we kind of kept it flat because a lot of them have it like taped to the table. But then they'll cut it really close. They will also get to do color. So hopefully this week they can finish all their embossing. And so that way in the last week they can work on just the coloring part. And they will, most of them, I'm sure, because of the intricacy of their design, will pick alcohol inks, but they'll also have the Sharpie marker option for colors. Okay, I'm going to clean off my desk. Creative exploration. This is the last class of the year for everybody. So if you're in the Wednesday class in Flatwoods, or if you're in the Friday class in Liberty, this is your last class because you only meet 3 times. So that fourth week of May, you guys will not have class. So any projects that you have, make sure you take them home this week. It is like the last hurrah. I know we've had some really amazing metal sculptures, so similar to like the Calder ones that you see from the preschool, although I know in Liberty they've really loved the hanging. Putting them on sticks and hanging them kind of sounds like a wind chime. They've also been making the ones I showed you last week, which are the balance and kinetic sculptures. So lots of great stuff happening, lots of wire work and metal foiling, which has been fun. Drawing 101 classes last week went outside and did roads and buildings, and I brought some of their examples. They also worked with rulers. And so, from 101 to 102, it's a big jump. In the 101 classes, what we're really looking for is just beginning an awareness of perspective rules. So things that are further away get smaller, right? So they don't actually get smaller, but they look smaller. Understanding that the leading line to the vanishing point is at an angle. We're not asking you to find the vanishing point. We're not asking you to like get all your lines to the vanishing point, none of it, but just understanding that there's kind of a warping that happens when things are further away. And so they went outside, and our goal was that we start to develop an awareness of those rules, and then also just practicing ruler skills. And so we warmed up just playing with rulers, kind of a connect the dots. I thought I had this book open to the right page, and I didn't. And then we drew things. So this class sat and faced the building, which I thought was funny. So there's a lot of orange easel facades that they drew, which I think is fun. Some of them you can tell they use the ruler, right, to make their line super straight, and then some of them not so much, and that's okay. It's exhausting to draw every line with a ruler. We know that. Here's another really great one from that same class. You can tell because of where they sat. One of amazing observational details. Now, this one I thought was interesting. I might have to explain what it is. Outside of our door, we're in a strip center, right? So there's these columns that come up, and they're obviously a rectangular prism, right? Four sides. They come up wide with a like a faux stone base, and then they tip in a little bit, and then they come up wide again, but a little narrower. So like wide in and then narrow. So there's a lot of really funky angles happening. And look at this artist tackled that column into the ceiling. So they're sitting underneath the overhang and looking up. How amazing is that? That's really tricky, you guys. It's a lot of funky angles. And then they also used a ruler. Super great things happening in the Drawing 101 classes. I was very proud of them. That's quite a brain teaser. 102 did the same thing. They went outside and they drew what they saw outside in plein air, buildings and roads. And I brought theirs. And you should see a difference between like a 101 and a 102. I'm going to take they have come on. They have their little like sheets that talk about what the lesson was. And a lot of them just tape it right to the front of the picture. Then you can't see it. So I'm just going to move it to the back. But you can see we've got a vanishing point in this one, right? And we've got the side of the building, which is the other direction because of my camera mirrors everything. Isn't that great? All right, hang on. I'm gonna do one more. Or no, I have two more. Two more. A lot of really great stuff. Now they have oh, I just didn't flip my screen. Sorry, Drawing 101, Drawing 102. They're a 90-minute class, so they also have more time to work on their drawing. And that is actually really good for 90 minutes. It takes a long time to draw now. This blows my mind because this follows perspective rules, but look at that. That is they turned it in the book. That's not how my brain works. I think it's fascinating. And that's not the only one. Isn't that wild? Artist brains just fascinate me. So good stuff happening in Drawing 101 and Drawing 102 to understand perspective. I'm going to set these off to the side, and then I can show you what 102 comic is doing. So 102 realistic is, 101, gosh, Allison, get it together. 101s, you guys, this week, you guys are going like micro. So we went macro, we looked big. Now we're going micro. You're going to draw rocks with chalk pastels and colored pencils, trying to render like texture. Or is it rocks or is it feathers? Hang on. Feathers. It's feathers. So that'll be fun. And it's not chalk pastels, it's oil pastels. That's right. Because then they get to wash them with watercolors. So that'll be fun. Okay. In 102 Advanced Realistic, it's rocks. I was like, I knew somebody was doing rocks. 102 Advanced Realistic is doing micro and they're doing rocks. And so they'll go really little, use their observational skills, kind of scientific drawing skills, and they will do colored pencils and chalk pastels. Okay, let's talk about these comic classes. So this is our comic books. I grabbed one of them to show you progress. Last week, the goal was to get all of the like pencil lines done. And then this week was to get all the inking done. And now we're trying to get all the coloring done. So remember, the pages are loose. So they've got a book. Then the pages get glued into the book. But they're working on loose leaf because then it's really easy for them to just glue it in. And if they make a mistake, then you just start over on a new sheet. But I'm going to flash them up so that way you can kind of see how far along we are on some of these storytelling pictures. This artist was the furthest along in the bin. She's got all of her inking done and she started on, there's green, and she has started on coloring, which is really amazing. So good work in there. A lot of the ones in there are just getting started on inking. So Some of them might need some additional time. And if that's the case, you know, those makeup times are always available to them. If the makeup times don't work, we would love for you to contact us so we can figure out an alternative time for you to come in, whether that's before class, whether that's after class, whether that's during an actual other class that meets, like one of our 103 classes where you can just sit and work on your comic book. You know, we have a lot of work time it's kind of throughout the schedule. So we'd love to find a time for you to come in. Speaking of those 103 classes, so 103 classes are working, and I should have grabbed examples because they were looking really good. 103 comic or drawing anthropomorphized characters. These are inanimate objects that have a personality and have mobility. So good things going on there. Think Beauty and the Beast. And then my 103 advanced realistic are outside, also doing perspective rules and buildings. And so a lot of them have chosen photographs to work from, but we did do some lessons outside just to practice. Couple housekeeping things. So our last day of classes, is May 23rd. So that's next Thursday. We don't have classes on Friday. So last day of classes is the 23rd. If you're in a preschool class or if you're in a creative explorations class, your last week is this week. It's just those 4 time a month classes that are meeting next week. There are no classes over the summer. So I had some people message me. They're like, we can't do summer. Can you cancel our enrollment? I'm like, good news. It ends anyway. So we don't have classes during the summer. It's all camps. We've got some teen nights going on, but mostly camps. And I know we have story times, but I think they're all filled. So if you want to join us for a summer camp, there are some spots, especially in June. I think July might be full. Last week of August, not really the last week of August. I think it's technically the second week of August. We still have some room, and then some June camps, but that's about it. So we'd love to see you this summer if you're still trying to figure out how to get some art in. We will send handouts home this week, I think, that's got information about art stuff. Other things that you can do for art this summer if you're looking for it. 2 things online for at home. Okay, the first is Creation Nation, which is a live online class taught via Zoom. So you log into Zoom and you're here on camera with Orange Easel instructors who teach. We all rotate through and teach different classes. We have everything from a story time in the morning to something for our like early elementary kids, play, mixed media, drawing and painting. And then we have something for the teens. They do comic drawing, realistic drawing. They do painting with Miss Grace. It's acrylic painting. And then they do digital with Miss Elena. And then I have something for the grown-ups. So we do a 7:30 class on Wednesday nights for grown-ups, which I teach watercolors and chalk pastels. And Miss Laura teaches a meditative, which is kind of fun and doodly, whereas I'm not so fun, but they can be fun. Her classes are super fun. So are Miss Bailey's. Bailey teaches like a mixed media. We call it Artful Variations. So if you're interested in those, it's a way to get on live with us and get some really focused creative time in, makes it intentional. So we'd love to see you for that. The other way that you can do it is I'm going to have a live video series every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon on YouTube. So you can log in on YouTube and take classes with me as well. Okay. More information on that is coming, I think, this week. It might already be posted to Facebook. I can't remember. But it should be soon. Okay, back to classes. So no makeups the week after Memorial Day. So that 27th through the 31st, we are on staff vacation. But we will have makeups like this week and next week and the week after the 27th through the 31st. Okay. And then please check your lost and founds. We still have quite a few things in lost and founds if you're missing a jacket or a water bottle or who knows what else. Usually jackets and hoodies is what we're collecting. But if you're missing something, we would love for you to reclaim it. Otherwise, as soon as we pretty much end our semester, we're gonna be taking things to thrift stores. So we'll donate everything that's in our lost and found, and then we have to make room for all the stuff we're going to collect in the summer. I think that's it. I had one last note that didn't make the housekeeping slide, and that is just that our fall enrollment starts in August. So classes are on break from the 23rd of May until basically Labor Day. And then we're back rolling again with the fall semester. So your enrollment that you're enrolled for right now does not carry over to fall. So you do get to re-enroll. You get to, pick a new class if you want, pick a new day if you want, whatever. But enrollment for the fall semester will start. I don't know why I'm pointing. There's nothing up there. Enrollment for the fall semester will start August 1st. Usually around the 4th of July is when I announce the schedule. So you can start looking through your schedule, plan your fall out, but enrollment will start August 1st. And there is a t-shirt. That's it. All right, that's everything. I hope everybody has a wonderful third week of May. We're in the downhill stretch, everybody. Can't wait to go out with a bang. We'll see you soon.